All right, so let's talk some pimping. So, will a win for Shakur Stevenson shut up the doubters? Shut up the doubters about him and really solidify him as what he say he is, as the face of boxing, one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, #1. And we're gonna talk about what it'll do for Teo too. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. So, as far as for Shakur, it won't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Devin did, in a lot of people's opinion, I was listening to Bruce, and Devin has done some incredible things compared to Bam Rodriguez. I'm about to call him Bam Adebayo. And, and people give Bam way more credit than they give Devin, and that's across the ethnic board, white, Mexican, black, and I'll just let you know this is pound for pound, and I always say its popularity is included in the pound for pound list. I don't think people really understand that popularity is included in how people like you. Now, Mayweather was so good, he was so good at being a villain and being popular that it was undeniable. But even when it was undeniable, they was trying to weaponize Manny Pacquiao against him. So one thing you got to realize too is, a lot of the guys that were, that should have been the face in the pound for pound of boxing, a lot of that is controlled by the media and by the promoters. And even when you look at Bob Arum, you think it'd have been beneficial to his company had they, propped up Terrence Crawford the way they propped up Lomachenko. They still may have a deal with ESPN or with another television network, but Bob Arum allowed, how he feel about ninjas to fuck the bag up. And that's one thing I think people don't really understand is when you're dealing with people that inherent power through, through the bloodline, I just keep it like that. They don't care because at the end of the day, they still feel like, well, I'm still gonna have money. So they come with a certain type of they come with a certain type of like entitlement. Bob has a certain entitlement. Fuck the company. I'm about to die anyway. You probably feeling like, hey, fuck it. My son dead. I do got my stepson running the company now, tied to Buff, but I don't really care. Before I make this ninja the face of my company, I don't like him. And maybe because some of the words they had in the boardroom, all right? So maybe some of the conversations that they had behind the scenes and they trying to get him to do something. He like, I ain't doing that shit in the way he talked to him. So they can't separate the business on how they feel about a guy. Look at their company now. Had they got behind Terrence Crawford, their company would still be live, prevalent, and relevant, right? So Shakur, you got to understand that. Is that, for the most part, you're going to be like Terrence, you're going to be like Andre Ward, you're going to be like Floyd Mayweather, and that come with it. You're always going to be fighting for the approval. You're always going to be fighting for the approval because people don't want to give it to you. Even though they know it, they're going to come up with a Chocolito, a Manny Pacquiao. They're going to come up with a different, at the end of the day, I guess that's just what's going to keep him fueled. But this fight or whatever he does is just not going to give it to him. Guys like Tank ain't got to do nothing, and he end up on the pound for pound list because people like him. They did. His promoters did a great job of putting the battery in his back and pushing him, and his fans like him. So it don't really matter what Shakur Stevenson does. It could be a spectacular performance. Oh, Camboso dropped him, or Camboso almost did. He been watched since this. He ain't punched the same since he got to 40. You're gonna start hearing all these loser excuses to take away from what he done. But guess what? While people keep moving the bar further and further and further and further away, that's just gonna make him fight harder and harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. That's all it's gonna do. It's just gonna make him grind more and more because he's fighting for something that people ain't gonna never give him until he done. You know? So he could put on a spectacular performance, and obviously it's going to raise his stock, especially if it's an exciting performance and it's a dominant performance. His stock gonna raise up for sure. His stock gonna go all the way up. His stock gonna go all the way up. All the way up. You know? But, you know, you ain't gonna give him no credit. Because of how his personality is. And on top of that, his style, people don't really care for that style. So, that was the whole thing about Mayweather. Well, he born. But Mayweather brought the action. Mayweather brought the action outside the ring as far as the talking. And at some point, he was an exciting fighter. At no point, Shakur Stevenson had an extended amount of being the exciting fighter. Extended, fights of being an excited fighter. So that's something to look at. But for Teo, if he beat Shakur Stevenson, it'll do something for him because people don't like Shakur Stevenson. It'll jump him up now. Well, it definitely would mark, like, if he ain't a Hall of Famer right now, it's definitely going to cement him as a Hall of Famer. It's definitely going to cement him as a Hall of Famer. So, and to me, I think, Teo got more to gain than Shakur Stevenson in this fight, and Shakur got more to lose. Now, with Teo come out on this being an Oscar De La Hoya type of star, Canelo type of star, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't believe so. But it definitely will make people like gravitate towards him. For sure. People are going to be Teo fans just off the strength of him beating Lomachenko. So, yeah, people are going to be fans, off of him beating the strength of beating Shakur Stevenson. So, yeah, he gonna have some fans. He gonna have some fans. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. But he definitely got more than game. And he unlikable too. But Shakur ain't got the complexion for the protection. And that's the major difference. He don't have the complexion for the protection. And that's where the biggest differences come at. Is that, they don't really fuck with him like that. So, at the end of the day, they'll fuck with Teo. So Shakur, what's going to drive him is just trying to really get that appreciation. And then he's not a built-in ticket seller. And neither was Mayweather. He had to go get that. So what he going to have to do is fight often. And he going to have to fight often. He going to stay in the public eye. And he going to have to learn to stop saying nigga in every other word. You ain't got to be likable. You ain't got to kiss nobody's ass. You just got to learn to be PR friendly. That's it. But definitely if Teo win this fight, it does more for his career than Shakur winning this fight. And obviously, for those who thinking the underdog factor is a factor as well too. The underdog factor. He an underdog. So when you go in there and you the underdog, That also plays an important factor into it as well too. So everybody love the underdog. I mean, everybody, you know, for people you really listen to, for the majority, you don't feel like he got much of a chance to win this fight. So so that always amplifies the fight. And when Shakur win, especially if he win in the fashion that people think he gonna win in a boring fashion, he did what he's supposed to do. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. Hit the link in the description. The first link is the link tree. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Join the Patreon. I appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.